Tyler Perry, very well known in the US, a very world-famous, well-respected TV producer and film producer. There have been some sexual assault claims made by him. It's a chap called Derek Dixon, and it's a $260 million lawsuit. And I say it's interesting because he is Lilibet's godfather. He revealed this on the Netflix show. He appeared as a character witness for Harry and Meghan in their 6-part show. This throws all sorts of issues, legal issues as well, commenting on it because it might develop over the next couple of weeks and days. But what is the importance of a royal godfather, Hugo?
Well, I mean, godparents are there to sort of mediate with the parents. I mean, in a sense, a godparent, one of the great things, of course, the real mission of a godparent is to make sure that they're sort of brought up in a Christian way and then sort of confirmed at a certain age, that we know. But also godparents can be very useful in sort of mediating between parents and saying, well, he said that? Well, wait a minute, I can tell you a few things about what he was up to when he was young. So that's usually they're usually chosen as really good family friends, not as sort of celebrities and sort of figures like this. But it doesn't really mean anything particularly. I know if the Queen, Elizabeth II, was a godparent, one of the things she would do would be to go normally to the wedding of the godchild. And the one exception, funnily enough, was Charles Spencer. She didn't go to his wedding. But anyway, there may be reasons for that.
Do you see problems with Tyler Perry and his connection to the Sussexes coming down the line?
Well, yeah, there's nothing very Christian about a sexual assault claim. And I think that it's just one other damaging thing to add to their now war chest of things that have been a problem for them. And, you know, they loved using Tyler Perry's resources. They loved using his house. They loved using his plane for the freedom flight that they speak about. I'm sure that victim didn't have much freedom in his situation. We'll find out. Obviously, it's all accusations at the moment. But I just think that it shows the type of people that Meghan likes to surround herself with. And I think it is damaging to their brand yet again, because he was meant to be their closest friend. And as you said, someone who, you know, stood up for them while they were leaving the royal family and on this whole champion trip abroad. So I just think that it's really, really not a good look for them. And let's see what will come out of this.
I think if accusations of this kind in court, this kind of legal writ had been made against Prince George's godfather or Prince William's godfather,
can you imagine?
It would be a huge story. I think. Do you know what I mean? It would bring a lot of attention.
Well, I do, but I mean, in the days when the Evening Standard used to have a placard outside, it would always say something like Queen's cousin in grave trouble. I mean, you bought it and then you never heard of the cousin, had you? They like to make an association with the person. You know, that's how they do the link, isn't it?
Well, that's totally right. I mean, I'm not specifically associating all the, you know, the lawsuits and the accusations, you know, anything disparaging about Lilibet, but it needs to be drawn attention. This is somebody who's very close to the Sussexes. Harry and Meghan went to his 55th birthday in September, which kind of doubled up as Harry's birthday last September after Harry's 40th. They live close in Montecito. And they're very close to the Sussexes, so we'll have to see how it pans out.
Watch how quickly they drop him, seriously. I mean, just watch how quickly they go, oh, sorry, toxic brand, going to step away from you, even though they're the ones who are really toxic. So I just think it's going to be another person who's just thrown to the side for them.
Okay. We'll watch this space. Let's just dwell a little bit on Lilibet and Archie. We saw a little bit more in a video posted on Meghan's Instagram page.
Well, I'm getting fed up with seeing the back of their heads and hearts stuck over their faces when they go to Disneyland and things. I mean, either show them or don't show them at all. But I mean, you can see what she's up to. I just think there's going to be a terrible revenge when those children grow up. I mean, I don't know about you, but I would be very annoyed if I found that I'd been used in all these posts in a strange way by my parents. And equally, they're also going to grow up at one point and discover that they never knew their grandparent, their grandfathers. I mean, Mr. Markle, I personally think of course, he's a broken man, but he's a rather sweet man, actually, and he did a lot for that girl when she was growing up. Don't you think?
I spoke to him a couple of days ago, actually, and he's just absolutely still distraught about the fact that he still doesn't have contact with Meghan.
And then, of course, they will also wake up to realise that they could have been, you know, the cousin to Prince George, the future king, and they could have been over here having a nice time, and with the other children, their cousins, they aren't going to know them. I mean, the only hope in that direction, if I'm sort of, you know, being serious and sort of less aggressive about it, is I think Princess Eugenie could do quite a lot, because she's obviously the one who's close to Prince Harry, and if all that, do you remember all that Portugal business? They were going to buy a house and things, and if those children that met Eugenie's children, then perhaps eventually they can meet you know, Prince George and the others. But I don't know. It seems, I think I would be, I could just see a horrible revenge coming from those children.
Interesting. Well, at the Platinum Jubilee several years ago, I took a wrong turn after one of the events, and I walked into an area I wasn't meant to be. And Peter Phillips' children, Mike and Zara's children, were all playing around, jumping on each other, jumping on Mike's back, jumping on Peter Phillips' back. And it was actually a really kind of joy to watch. And that's what occurred to me there. I thought, well, wouldn't this be great if Lilibet and Archie could hang around with all their cousins? But...
And I mean, you know, I've said it before, but the Queen always had somebody with her when the Sussexes came to see her to stop them taking photographs and, you know, exploiting the situation.
I mean, it's pretty interesting, this new Instagram PR strategy, though. I must say, I know we talk about the backs of the children's heads. The children's faces were front and center of those videos. So it seems like this new PR team has just chucked everything that she previously had out the door and said, no, we want you twerking, we want the kids' faces, and we want everything out there, and we want the public to be able to dissect it. So that's a very interesting sort of shift for that brand, Meghan and Harry. And I really think that it's tragic that the King and Thomas Markle Sr. were not included at all and are not in the children's lives. It's really a tragedy.
Well, because we had the contrast there with Williams, where we had two pictures of all his three children. There was a before and after, wasn't there? There was a before where they were all pictured cuddling their father, and then they've got him on the floor and they're having a little bit of a play with him. And what did you make of the contrast between those two?
Do you remember the royal wedding pictures that Patrick Litchfield took? Again, there was a moment when he said, "Okay, guys, it's all over," and they all flopped down together, and he took a quite sweet picture of everybody, all the bridesmaids and everybody all sort of tumbling over each other. Yeah, I mean, it's completely different. And of course, I've said this before too, but can you come back to Mother's Day? I thought you celebrated your own mother on Mother's Day, not yourself as a mother. And again, we've got Prince Harry as a father being celebrated. So she obviously is not going to celebrate either the King or Mr. Markle. So, yeah.
Not her own father who paid all her school fees.
Exactly, and took her on the set and everything. And, you know, and just go back to, sorry to keep going back to the past, but why did Mr. Markle never meet Prince Harry? And there can only be three reasons for that. One, that she was ashamed of him, which I think was a bit pretty unattractive. Two, possibly that she thought he'd done something. But when Prince Harry rang Mr. Markle up and asked if he could marry his daughter, he said, "You can marry her as long as you never raise your hand against her." And of course, we don't talk like that. So maybe he lives in a world where people have done that sort of thing. I dispute that as well. I don't think that's the case. The third reason is that I think she was worried that he might actually have warned Prince Harry that this is not what you're getting, this girl.
They're not two normal families, are they? They both married into. I mean, let's be honest. That both families have quite a lot of history. They've got a lot
Mr. Markle should have been at the wedding, and they should have flown him over, stuck him in a health farm in the Shetlands or somewhere. Prince Harry should have gone up to see him, and if he couldn't have walked the aisle, he should have been sitting there, because as you rightly say, he did a lot for that girl. She even admitted it in the early days before she distanced herself from him.
He lives 3 hours away. There is no excuse. And actually, I have to say, it's pretty, some of the circumstances that he's living in compared to the riches that Harry and Meghan have is appalling. And I will always defend that man, because I think that he has been absolutely wronged by that woman.